Hello and welcome from Crown Heritage. Today our discussion is going to revolve around installing a box newel onto a starting step. And the way we're going to do it today is utilizing the Crown Heritage 3094 box newel installation hardware. But before we get into talking about that, let's discuss for just a moment some of the features and benefits of any of the Crown Heritage starting steps. Regardless of what you need a starting step for, Crown Heritage either stocks or can manufacture a starting step for your specific need. Whether it be a single end, a double end, whether it's a small one end, large opposite end, bow front, tapered, however you need it configured, we should be able to manufacture you a starting step for your specific needs. But let's take a look at the features of what's in a standard starting step as it comes out of the box from our plant. So the tread, if it's a single end, is reversible where you can use it either left hand or right hand. The starting step riser should be the same species as the tread unless you specify otherwise. Also, inside of the riser is going to be the Coven shoe set for the radius portion, tucked up inside the radius, along with the lineal pieces of trim, both your cove molding and your shoe molding, inside of a piece of cardboard here, just on the inside, back side of the riser. One of the things that we do on our radius Coven shoe is we manufacture both of those out of a single piece, so that when it's installed, it's so much easier to install. It's manufactured to fit correctly around the end of the bullnose, both for the cove and for the shoe. Now I want to take just a minute and talk about some of the features of our hardwood box newels. We do a couple of things that gives your customer some extra options. So the first thing I want to mention is the two caps. There's a bevel cap or a flat style cap that is on one end of the newel, and then the other end of the packaging will be a square top, or I've had people refer to it as like a top hat. So you'll pick one or the other one can be discarded. The other benefit of that is that the top of this newel has a hollow opening that allows you some extra flexibility to be able to get inside of there and fasten your handrail to your box newel. One of the other things that we do is the sleeve. If this box newel has a sleeve already with it, that sleeve is adjustable. You can take it off if you need to trim the box newel down. You can move it up out of your way for the installation process. And speaking of the installation process, those of the newels that have a hollow cavity on the bottom, we put this installation block inside of it. It's already pre-bored for the two different kits that we offer for box newel installation. And we'll talk about those a little bit further into some of our training videos. So now we're to the point of where we would mark the box newel onto the starting step to put our installation block in. And obviously, if this were an actual installation, this starting step would be fixed to a stairway, not on my shop table. So just bear with me as we try to walk through this process. One of the things that you'll need to do, of course, is determine what length the newel post needs to be overall and trim it accordingly. For this installation, I'm going to leave it intact in full just so that we can do what we need to do for the installation block. If you're dealing with a volute or a turnout, you're fortunate in that you've got a template that's provided from Crown Heritage that will show you where to place your newel at for marking it for installation. But with a box newel, there is no template, and depending upon the installation, that location could change. The biggest indicator of needing to know where to put your newel is to know where the center line of your balustrade is going up the staircase. Once you've determined what the center line is, then you can adjust your box newel accordingly for the installation. So at this point, what we're going to do is we're going to mark this newel so that we can put in our installation block and show how that process goes. When you're going to install a box newel on a starting step, one of the problems that it presents is that you've got a void between the tread and the riser. So this 3094 toggle style bolt helps fill that void and gives you a good sturdy installation with this installation block. So once you've found the center of where your installation block needs to be, then you can start the process of marking off to drill your hole to put your toggle bolt into here for the installation, and we'll look at that next. Okay, so we've located the center point for our installation block. We've marked our starting step for where we need to drill our holes. The next step we're going to do is to actually drill the holes for the 3094 to be used in. So we've got the necessary holes drilled in our starting step tread so that we can install the toggle bolt. You can see we've got the hole cleaned up, and we're now ready to start the installation process. Inside the packaging of the 3094, there is a steel plate that's got 2 cleats on it. That's what's going to ultimately grab the bottom side of this tread to go into this installation block. Now remember, the installation block was included in the box newel. We've also got a 12-inch bolt, a washer, and a nut. So I've put my bolt into the plate, and I'm going to tuck this plate down into the hole here, much like you see. Then at that point I can turn that plate sideways so that it's perpendicular to the hole we've drilled. Then what we want to do is we want to be able to put this installation block on here. And then what I like to do in order to hold it in place is to take a pair of vice grips and just give me a little bit of a grip, just so that I can get my washer and my nut started on there so it doesn't fall back into my hole. Now obviously, once I get this installation block on, then I'm going to want to permanently fix the tread to the riser. To this point, we've just kind of held it in place so that we could do all of our measurements and drill all of our holes. But at this point, that's when you're going to want to permanently attach it once we've got this installation block in place. So I've got it started enough, it's not going to go anywhere. So at that point I can continue to thread my nut onto the bolt here, and then once we get it tightened up good, then we can start the process of mounting the inner column. Before installing the inner column on top of the installation block, you'll want to put some wood grade construction adhesive onto the installation block and then slide your inner column over the top of it. So I've got my newel post slid down over my installation block, and I've checked with a level to make sure that it's plumb all the way around. Now I can start putting screws in the installation block for final assembly. Different people are going to choose to do it different ways. For this installation, we're just going to put a couple of 2.5 inch screws in all 4 sides. Okay, so I've got my newel post slid down over my installation block. One of the things that I did was I measured the installation block and I transferred that dimension onto one side of my newel post so to give me a guide kind of how high up I could go with putting these screws in for the installation of the newel. So next we're going to put a couple of screws in each side of the newel post. Okay, so we've got all of our screws in the inner column. The last thing we've got left to do was to remove the wedges and to slide the outer column or the outer sleeve down to the bottom of the starting step. Once you're at that point, you should be able to shoot just a pin nail with like a finish nailer through the trim or through the edge of this base sleeve, and the installation should be complete at that point. Last time we were here, we talked about installing a box newel onto a starting step or onto a surface that had a hollow subfloor. Today we want to talk about installing one onto a regular set of stringers that has a good solid foundation underneath it to be able to use this 3074 lag bolt in conjunction with the installation block. Alright, so for today's demonstration, I'm going to use a very simplistic mock-up of a tread here that would simulate a solid substructure in order to mount this lag bolt into. So obviously the first thing you're going to do is you're going to locate the center line of your balustrade, and you're going to mark the installation point for where you're going to need to drill your hole for this lag bolt. It's a simplistic lag, it's 12 inches long, and it recommends that you drill a pilot hole here using a 5/16 inch drill bit. That's what we'll do next. Okay. All right, once I get my drill hole, my pilot hole for my lag bolt, then I can start installing it through the installation block. Once you've got your lag snug inside of your installation block through your subflooring, at that point the installation process should be pretty simplistic. You want to put your construction grade adhesive around your installation block, then slide the inner column of your box newel over the top of it, fasten it with whatever type fasteners you choose, typically some type of screw, then slide your outer sleeve down over the top of that, place a finish nail through it, and you should be done at that point.